Yeah, we got one left here. Today's sermon will bring our 100% series to a close. I would love to be nice and clever and tell you that we will be 100% done with 100%, because that would be really neat to say that, but it's not totally true because each of these sermons throughout the year, they're all connected together. They're all representing different sons of Jacob, and each sermon series holds a little bit of relationship to all the other ones because they're all sons together. They're all part of the same family, so they are brothers. And if the brothers themselves are connected together as family, then so also in some way must the meanings of their names be connected together. So we are going to continue forward with them in the order they were born, and they will symbolically represent all of humanity in one way or another. Each of the sons is a little bit different. They've all got their own personalities and characteristics, and each of them's name means something really different. All of them, though, belong to the same family. Next week is May. That's the 5th month. The 5th son of Jacob in birth order is Dan. So next month, we will start to learn a little bit more about Dan and what his name means. But for today, we're still in April, and we're still on Judah, and Judah's name means praise. Judah's name means praise, worship, celebrate. We'll spend 3 more weeks on Judah, I guess. Go back and interview Owen all over again, get some more DoorDash out of him. Everything that we do in one way or another can be considered 100% praise, and all the aspects of what we do for work and our lives. Everything goes through different stages of life, learning and serving and leading. If we think of our labor as spiritual labor, then every stage of our life brings with it another opportunity to honor God with that labor. As students, we seek understanding to devote our time so that we can learn and develop new skills, to train our minds and train our bodies to do more honest work. While we're in the workforce, we serve and we build and we grow and we accomplish tasks as we show that we are capable of using our physical bodies in service and in practice that keeps the world in good shape. And as we master certain skills of trade and wisdom, we can pass them on to others in the workforce by being leaders and taking on leadership roles. We can teach others, we can inspire others, we can equip others to be the best that they can be in their own quality-driven, respectful ways. All of us can give 100% in worship in whatever we're doing. And when all that work is done, when our knees make noises, and our calluses have calluses, and those calluses have wrinkles, we enter that stage where we shift gears away from the grindstone. We step away from the assembly lines, the cubicles, the classrooms, the office desk, the crop fields, and everywhere else that we've committed our bodies to labor, and we rest. Sometimes I just need to do that. Musically, it would look like a little top hat. I'm just taking a little, like a one-measure rest. There are some people in this room that have been doing that musical top hat for quite a while. There are some of you in this room who are too excited about learning to ever imagine a time in life when you will be resting. And then there are those of us here who prematurely have started an unhealthy countdown for when the retirement will come. My target retirement year, based on my IRA, because it's one of those targeted date IRAs, or the fund into it is 2040. That's my retirement year, is 2040, which just happens to be the graduation year for the kids who enrolled in preschool this year. So every time I see those kids who are right now preschoolers, I see my retirement. When they go to kindergarten and when they go to first grade, every year I'm applauding them right along. Keep going, kids, because when you walk down that graduation aisle, I'm going to be there cheering for you. I'm going to go to all of their graduation parties, even if they don't know who I am, and they won't know who I am most likely. But I'm going to go with them and celebrate because they are celebrating and I am celebrating together. That is my retirement. There will be a time for resting, and I'm willing to continue working hard as long as I can until that time. I don't want to cheat it or shortcut the process. If I'm able to work, I will continue putting my work forward. I will give it my best effort as a manager, as a teacher, as a bus driver, or whatever functions I am asked to do or need to do to make things work, to do my service for society in 100% worship to God. I will give what I can give. But if you're already there, embrace it. Enjoy it. It's not a disgrace. It's not a failure. We have a time to work, and we have a time to rest. God did too. Genesis 2. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. By the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all his work. Sabbat. He rested. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. And we can know from that passage in Genesis that it was God's intention to rest. How do we know that? Because there didn't have to be 7 days. He's the one creating all of this. He could have said, it's a 6-day week, everybody, we're done. I worked, and now we start all over again. But he didn't. He created everything, and in that week, since it could have gone on, he chooses to make it go on. He simply says, this is a 7-day week, and I'm resting. The work stopped. Creation stopped. He could have simply said, this is it, and we start over, but he said, nope, this needs to be a cycle of 7 days, and there needs to be a time for me to rest, and you need it too. Everything had been made and was created. All the stuff that he wanted to be on earth was made in that time, and he said, good. It all looks good. It's all the way I wanted it to be. Good. He was satisfied, and he chose to dedicate time to resting and enjoying that his creation was good. His work was good. The work cycle was intended from the very beginning. We can see from that example, intentional rest is necessary and was given to us to understand as a necessary thing. Your body needs rest. Sometimes it's hard to understand that and believe it when there's so much to do, but your body needs rest. You got to reset. You've got to recharge. Your mind needs to reflect and find joy in the work that it's done. If a painter paints a landscape painting, he doesn't just finish the final brushstroke and then put it in a box and store it somewhere. He steps back. He looks at what he has made. He scans over it. He reflects on it. He sees the good work that he has done, what he has made with his hands. God set that standard for us by doing that same thing. He put all of his beauty, all of his glory into the world and then stepped back and said, this is good. I'm going to rest and look at this. I'm going to see what I have made and know that it's good. He empowered Adam and the rest of mankind to do the work of continuing the planet's beauty. And if all we ever did was labor inside of that creative work, we would never be able to appreciate any of what has been designed, any of what has been made, if we're just working in it and never really stepping back to appreciate it and resting in it. We're not truly doing what we've been intended to do. And my interviewee for this week agrees with me. How do I know that? Because I've already interviewed them. I know there are lots of you in this room that were probably super eager and excited to come up here on stage and answer questions about what it's like to see rest as a style of worship. But I decided I was going to go remote for today. And talking about today's topic, my subject for this week is someone 3 hours away from us. I asked Jim Browning earlier in the week if we could arrange a time where I would call him, do a video chat, and his response assured me that I picked definitely the right person. Based on the description of what he said, I picked the right person. He said, okay, let me know what's good for you. I can be available pretty much anytime. Got the right guy. So I arranged a time after my 12-hour shift on Friday, rushed home to catch up with him on his cell phone while he was casually hanging out at a park in Oregon, just chilling, letting the wind blow and doing his thing. We talked for a few minutes about his family, the soccer games and all the things they're doing, and he was going to go up on the top of a mountain, and he thought about doing the call from there. I'm like, yeah, that would have been awesome, and like just talking about how beautiful everything is. Then we talked about how he spends his day, what his day is like, how much he appreciates having time that he has to be able to do things with his family, to be available for him, and all the life that he hears the most for. And then finally I asked him about the big question of, what do you see rest as a style of worship? How do you view rest and worship together? And this was Jim's response.
One of the great things that I find about being retired is just being able to travel and to see things and to witness the beauty of creation. God has provided an unbelievable palette for us to across this country and around the world, in many places where I've traveled to and enjoyed being able to do it. And I know that there's so much stuff that I haven't seen yet. And it relaxes me when I realize creation was created for us. We are the custodians, but we also are here to enjoy the beauty of what God created. I mean, just look at me from the background here, the trees that are blooming and everything else here. And I know it's springtime at home, but it's just so beautiful. And I know that it gives me a peace in my mind to know that the creator of all things, as I worship and as I look at what he's provided, I know that I'm blessed because I'm able to experience this, and God has provided for us. So I hope that as you have your own experiences with whether it's retirement or on the job or whatever it is, that you get to experience those things and enjoy it, because God, in his wisdom, provided everything we need. And I am so thankful.
He's literally more than 3 hours away. He's 3 time zones away. So we had to arrange the call to where it wasn't too early or late for anybody. But yeah, he's in Oregon right now. Not for much longer, though. They're coming back very soon. Psalms 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. But remember the order. Work first. Rest after. Rest isn't rest if nothing precedes it. Going straight to resting and then working is what Proverbs calls a sluggard. Proverbs 6:9. How long will you lie there, you sluggard? When will you get up from your sleep? Or in chapter 20. Sluggards do not plow in season, so at the harvest time they look but find nothing. They didn't put the work in when they were supposed to work and rest when they were supposed to rest. Rest is the reward for the work. Your body is designed to utilize all of that rest after hard physical labor. Your muscles and your joints absorb force, and they're designed where some of them are vertical and some are horizontal so that all that absorption can be balanced, so that at some point, when all that energy is drained from you, all the stuff that was stored as glycogen in your muscles, when it's released under stress and the strain happens and those muscles tear and those joints get weak, you can rest and have restorative sleep. And your body can rejuvenate itself. Your muscles and those stresses can repair themselves. That is the way your body is designed to work. But if rest comes first, you're just wasting everything. You're going against God's intention, and there is nothing beautiful about that. There's a composer by the name of John Cage. You probably don't know who he is because you really wouldn't have heard any of his music, because he's mostly well known for creating some very experimental and deliberately bizarre songs. Very, very well known for a song called 4:33, which is 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence. The entire song, a piano player sits down, hits a timer, and at exactly 4 minutes and 33 seconds, stops the timer, takes a bow. And you know what? Ironically, people applaud that. I'm interested in some weird things, for sure. But I would not be part of the clapping audience in that. Like, that's not music. Just a rest is not music. There has to be a song first to have a rest, to have meaning in that rest. But he gets weirder than this. John Cage also, later in his life, wrote a song called Organ Square. And in the writing of the song Organ Square, there is no specific timing. It only says in the tempo at the top, it says, as slow as possible. So when you are to play it, if you were to play it physically as slow as possible, it could take a long, long time. In fact, there is a performance currently underway of this song, Organ Squared. But don't worry, you've got time to catch the rest of it. It's playing in Germany, in Halberstadt, Germany. You could walk to Germany and still catch the rest of this playing of the song. They built an organ just to play the song. You can interchange the pipes in it so that the notes can change over the course of time, and there are little weights pulling down on the notes so that the organ continues as long as it has to, as long as possible and as slow as possible, to play the notes that were written in that time. The last time a note changed was September of 2020. The song has been playing since 2001, and it's going to play for 639 years. 639 years in this church in Germany, this song is playing. Right now, there is a note being held. But before any notes were ever played originally, the song begins with a 17-month rest. Before any note is ever played, there are 17 months of silence. The composer has commanded rest to happen with no value gained for the individual. No one who started work on playing this song will ever benefit from hearing it finished. And he himself died in 1992. Composer John Cade's command to rest will lead to no results. However, God's command to rest points us toward him. Psalm 46:10, he says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." We don't dig deeper to know that God is God. We don't work longer hours or overtime. We don't make more noise or run faster or harder. We don't take on more and more complex tasks to eventually reach the revelation that God is God. We stop. We step back. And we're still. God's command to rest brings us closer to him. It has since the very beginning. And speaking of creation, I want to go back to Genesis again. Back to chapter 1 now instead of chapter 2 where we started before. On the third day, he created seed-bearing vegetation. On the fifth day, he made all the creatures of the air and sea. On the sixth day, he made all the animals of the land and man. Starting in verse 27 of chapter 1. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, and over every living creature that moves on the ground." Then God said, "I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. And to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds in the sky, and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food." And it was so. God saw that all he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. So God made all of the living things that were capable, he made them capable of making more of their own living things. Everything in creation was made so that it didn't have to be recreated again. It wasn't work that had to be done every week. He wouldn't have to keep creating more tomatoes every time somebody ate a tomato. The tomatoes themselves have seeds inside that produce more tomato plants that grow more tomato fruits. The same with all the animals and with us as well. We are capable of recreating from what has been created. God didn't have to keep a week-long process of starting over and creating again. That work of creation was done in those 6 days, and no more creation work needed to be done after that point. It was done. So on the next day, since no more work needed to be done after that, God rests. And in terms of a work week, his first day off was man's first day on the planet. God basically said, this is yours to take care of. I did the work of making it for you. Now you stay with me and we enjoy it together. God made all of it so that we wouldn't have to do that work of creation again. We were not capable of doing the work of creation again. Our work began when the creating and the forming had finished, because we were not able to speak things into existence the way God did. We were only able to care for and nurture and cultivate and make the planet what he made it to be. We didn't have to worry about the work of creation because there was nothing that we could do to make that possible. And the same, folks, is true in our spiritual lives. We have rest from the atonement of our sins. We have rest. In the same way, if you want to think deep enough about it, in the same way that God created the earth so that it didn't have to be recreated because there was nothing that man could do to recreate it, the same is true for us in our sins. Ephesians 2:8. For it is by grace you have been saved, through faith, and this not from yourselves, it is a gift of God, not by works, not by doing anything, working so that no man can boast. Just like God gave us the gift of creation and said that we didn't need to work at that task anymore, he also gifted us with not having to work at our own salvation. That work has been done for us. It's all done. It's already been put in place. And all we need to do is accept the gift. It is a gift from God to accept. Accept that the work is done and rest in the comfort of knowing all of salvation is in place. Apart from the sacrifice of Jesus, we would never be able to work hard enough, study long enough, manage effectively enough, training or doing anything to attain our own freedom from death through sin. Through our baptism into Christ, we are a new creation, like that sixth day all over again. We are a brand new creation in a brand new full day, and we can enjoy the beautiful work that has been done on our behalf. Matthew 11:28. As slow as possible. No, not that. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened. You're not going to have to keep working at it. If you come to him, something's going to happen. And I will give you rest. Let's pray.